Hey, on this video, we are going to talk about section management. So on the document here, we have a definition of section management. It says tracks the user's auth states across requests. So it means like on every time after user authenticated and every time user make a request, we need to track if user is still valid or user has expired. So let's just scroll down to the section management here. There are two ways to manage sections. The first one called stateless, and the stateless, it means like section data or a token. They're pretty much same thing. Section data that is stored in browser cookie. So after user authenticated or logged in on the backend, we're gonna generate a cookie that's gonna be that's gonna store sections data, and we're gonna send back to front end, and they're gonna be stored on browser. And on every time user make a request, they're gonna take a cookie with it, and on the backend we're gonna decrease the data in order to get user's ID, to verify user, and to check user if that's still valid or that has expired. And there's another way to do that. Is called database. It means that we store sections data in a database. So compared to stateless one, we have actually saved some data on database, and we only send sections ID to the front end. We are not expose users ID, and which is make another layer of security. So let me just show you in the code. Okay. We have a code from previously here. Everything same, and we just on the sign up here. We have like verify users input, verify if user is the data has been inserted into database correctly, and after that we have like we add step 4 and step 5. On a step 4, we actually create a section. Like when user is registered successfully, we're gonna create a section, and they're gonna install the section that's gonna come with user's ID and the expire date, and I'm gonna dive into that later. And after we've done that, we're gonna take user back to profile page. So let's take a look on the create section here. So on the create section here, that takes user's ID, and we create an expired time, and we put user's ID and the expired time as a param, then pass into a method called encrypt. So if we look at the encrypts here, we have encrypt here, and that we are gonna it allows like a encryption, like they have some algorithm to make the user ID and the expired date safe. We use the tool here called the JAWS, and we are not going to dive into that as long as we know that help us to encrypt the data. And you can also pass the secret key. In my case, there's a secret key that I have defined on this file here. I'll just do the simple one. And just like you can create a complete like a more complicated secret key, just make it more secured. So anyway, we have a encrypt and a decrypt. So we know that that gonna encrypt the data, and a task for decrypt the data. So we have an encrypted data here, passing user ID and the expired date, and we're gonna get a cookie, and as we save the sections info cookie, we save a key as a section. That's the information that basically is user's ID and the expired date, but it's being encrypted, and with some configs. That means like the path means like work on the root, from the root, yeah, and the HTTP and all these configs. Okay, that's gonna be actually gonna send back to front end. So let me just show you on a demo here. So if I go into network, so we're gonna like Michael, let's say 5. So when I hit sign up, what's gonna happen? We got signed up. They got a check, step 1 check, and a step 2 check, and they're gonna insert to the database. We just know that we got Michael 5 here. That's email address, and they're gonna assign a section to the front end, and then it redirects me to profile page. So I'm gonna hit sign up. So I can see that redirect me to profile page. And on the local host, as you can see, we get set cookies here from response header, and it comes with a section that's basically user's ID and the expired date that's been encrypted, and the path, expired date, etc. And you can also check on application here on cookie. As you can see, we can get the value, section value, and the domain path, and the expired date here. So that's like one way to. So every time like we make a request, for instance, from this domain, right? It's gonna come along with the section, the cookies come along with the request header. That's one way to do that. There is another way, we call it. It says on a document called database here. So if we just look at that on my code, so we have a stateless section, and then let me just comment that out, and then we have a database section. So they are pretty much similar. So encrypt, that actually encrypts section ID and expired date. From previous one, we have a user's ID and the expired date. So on the section ID, the section ID basically the section ID basically that is we insert user expired date and the user ID and expired date to database on the table called section that generate the ID. You will use the ID we use the ID and the expired date as a cookie, as a section actually. Yeah, so the rest of them are same, just like it just add another layer, another step. It's like we save user's ID and expired date on the database. It's just another layer of security, just in case like we have our encrypted data has been decrypted by some way, and they only know section ID and expired date. It doesn't know like our sensitive information like user's ID, maybe user's password or etc. It's just like more secure. So let me just save that, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you on my demo. So here, we still call create section, but it's different method now. Create section. Oops. Let me see. Create section. That's not from authentication. Here, yeah, still 30 minutes, and we will see that we're gonna sign up again, and we will see if they're gonna save to the section on database. So let's say Michael, let's say 6. Let me just delete this. Network. Okay, I'm gonna sign up. As you can see, that sign up successfully, and here that we had create section here, and let's see on my database if there are any new section. So we just create a Michael 6 on email Michael 6 here, and if we check on sections here, section table, as you can see, we have created a section. The user's ID is 29 with the expired date, and that's this user ID here that we have just created. And we're still able to see the section here. That's encrypted part. That basically that's the section ID and expired date. It's just another layer of security. So on this video, we have covered section management with 2 ways to do that: stateless and the database. Okay, and I also want to mention the update section. Is that once user has logged in, we issued user a section, and every time user make a request, we need to call this function to keep user up to date. So like if we don't do that after 30 minutes, the expired date gonna be end, and the user gonna be logged out automatically. And we need to every time user make a request, we need to call this function. On this function, basically we get a user section, and basically we're gonna renew the expired date. We renew the expired date to user, and then we make sure the user's expired date is latest. That's still like latest like 30 minutes. And that another one is called delete section. Is a user logout, and then we make sure we have clear. We use the cookie store delete. We delete users section, and it means that user is completely logged out, and there's no cookie or section left on the browser. Okay, that's it for section management for this video.